to advise him?
Thought about having a second wife without my first wife knowing, but she found out and she left my house, went to her parents, and is now asking me to, let her go. And I'm trying to convince her that it was a mistake, and and I don't want it anymore, or something like that. What's the best course of action for me? Because she thinks that I'm a very bad person, and some of the things she thinks are true, but I'm willing to work on myself. I'm really scared and everything, so being
okay.
Advise me, what should
I will advise you, inshallah.
Okay, I will advise you, inshallah. So this is the story, guys. This guy obviously is an Indian. He lives in Saudi Arabia, or maybe Pakistani. So he is Korean. He says, I told at first I wanted to marry a second wife without telling my wife, but then she found out, maybe because she found her naked pictures on my phone, and then she ran away from the house. She went to her dad's house, and she is asking for divorce. And now I'm trying to convince her that I was a bad person when I did that. I'm not going to do it. Please come back home, and I need your advice. What should I do? Now the sheikh is going to give the advice of $1 million. How low they can go? Watch.
Man says from Saudi Arabia, he wanted to marry a second wife without telling his first wife. His first wife came to know. Now she's asking for divorce. How can he convince her not to get a divorce and to come back and to believe him when he says that he will not do that again or attempt to do it again? This is, with all due respect, I'm like your father. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. You should not have attempted this from the first place. If you are not a man enough to get married to a second woman, don't even dream about it, because
if you are not man enough, if you are not man enough, listen, it turned to be that a man who is trying to get the second wife is not a man enough. If you are not a man enough, why you try to get the second wife, man? Obviously, you don't have two penises. You are not man enough. Only man enough they can have this. Instead of advising him, shame on you, piece of shit. Why you want to have second wife? I mean, what the second one she would do, the first one cannot do. Do the second one have a 3 breast, and your wife now she have 2? Instead of saying to him, if this guy, the one who's Korean, is his son-in-law, and he says to him, I'm going to marry over your daughter, do you know what he would say to him? Shame on you. The same what Muhammad did. He said, not to my daughter Fatima, not to my daughter. When Ali, he wanted to marry a second wife, Muhammad, he said, not to my daughter. You can find that in my book, Sex and Allah. This is how hypocrite, coward Muhammad is, how low they can go. So I'm going to advise you. I'm like your father now, huh? By the way, like your father, can I go to your house so I can flirt with your wife the same as Muhammad did with Zainab? Because father in Islam is a very fatherly thing.